unfortunately he cannot join because he is still working out in Kudo. The head of the Center for Environmental Studies and Social Forestry, LPPM, Bengkulu University, deans or those representing Bengkulu of University, lecturer, researcher, student, and all guests. Thank you. Especially to our two sources this afternoon, who we both respect. Welcome, Dr. Chris from the University of Oxford. Okay, sama-sama. Welcome from Pastor, from University of the Philippines, Los Banos. Okay. Thank you for coming to our discussion this afternoon. Thank you, Professor Dr. Ingenieur Agus Susatya, MSc, who has initiated this activity, and all friends. Hopefully, in the future, we can improve this collaboration and realize it in better and broader way. Enjoy the journey to Rafflesia, land and great opportunity to collaborate our research with your institution. Thank you, Dr. Ari Patricia, for engineering the guide our effort. It is all my speech, and thank you very much for attending this. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Prof. Arno, for your speech. So our main session will be guided by Professor Agus Susatya as a moderator to this event. Prof. Agus, time is yours.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. It's probably smell good.
Enak sekali.
Back away. So thank you. I would like to say thank you to the Center of Science, Research and Community Service, and who provide the place to discuss about our future research. And also welcome to two special guests right now, Dr. Chris Torogood, which is the Deputy Director of and the Head of Science, the Oxford Botanical Garden. So we also thank to our special guest also, Professor Pat. He is from University of Philippines or Spain. Both very well known in the Rafflesia of work. And this is the second time that they both visited to Bengkulu. We know that Bengkulu is known as the land of Rafflesia, but after both have visited to the site of Rafflesia, they have a good idea that Bengkulu is not only the land of Rafflesia, but the land of giants.
Yes, exactly.
Because they say a giant flower and also say
It's not only Rafflesia.
Yes.
not only Rafflesia,
But also more proper.
Hi.
Okay.
Good to see you again.
Yeah.
Risky. Good to see you again. Hi. Good to see you again.
Itu pas hari yang itu hanya 4 orang itu
Okay.
sekeluarga saya.
The first visit, we have signed MOU with Oxford Botanical Garden, And then after almost 6 months, we published an article, a good article, I guess. And right now, this is the second visit, and we hope that we can develop a more network, stronger network on the research and publication also. So today, the purpose of this meeting is try to explore the opportunity for the next international collaboration between Oxford and University of Guru, or the UPLB and University of Guru, or UPLB Oxford University of Guru. This is the thing that we are thinking is very important to develop university as a data university. We have to make a network for collaboration, research and application. This is the time that we can discuss about the future collaboration with the research of application. I guess this is the best time to explore that. So that's my introduction, and then I would like to question part to talk about the research and possibility, the collaboration between this university with Oxford or also UPLB. We have already talked about the possibility in the Department of Forestry, but we would like to share with you all about our future research collaboration or application. So this is the time. So I would like to share about our future plan in with regard to the research and application. Please share your thoughts about that. Okay.
Thank you. Well, first, a very warm thank you for having me and your hospitality. And it's been made to feel so very welcome on our second visit to Vancouver, which is starting to feel, as I've said, like our second home. The people are very warm, very kind. The food is very good. But it's not just that that's bringing us back here. It's our collaborative work, as Argus has kindly introduced on Rafflesia. And I think there are sort of three themes that are emerging in our work in Rafflesia, and I think of those as understand, conserve, and engage, or admire. So the first one, in terms of understanding, is as humans, we are curious about the world around us, and there is no plant that really arouses more curiosity than Rafflesia. It's an enigma. It's a mysterious flower, and anyone who's ever seen it knows that it's an awe-inspiring plant. And so together we want to understand the plant in terms of its biology, and we've had some fascinating conversations here in terms of the potential interactions that there may be with mycorrhizas, microbiota. We also are working with others in Oxford, extending our collaboration to other experts in other fields. For example, Adrian Togus collected the scents, the volatiles of Rafflesia flowers in the Philippines, and we have chemists who have analysed those, and we know that they smell different. Meanwhile, mathematicians are looking at the geometry of the different flowers and trying to understand how that may influence pollinator dynamics. And so we're starting to understand that the pollination biology of Rafflesia are some examples. The other I mentioned was conserve or protect. Rafflesia is a flower in peril, so Professor Pak Argus referred to a paper that we published, all of us with our colleagues across Southeast Asia, in the journal Plants, People, Planet. And I'm pleased to say it received international acclaim. So it was actually featured in all of the major news outlets around the world. The message was a little bit stark because it shows that 60% of Rafflesia species are threatened and 67% of their habitats are unprotected. However, within that paper, we also worked together to identify solutions, and that's something that I think has been really fruitful in today's conversations before this meeting. So we've talked about some of the issues around why Rafflesia is threatened, and then we talked about some of the solutions. And I think there are some tangible things that we can take forward. So one, it's quite a simple one, is in terms of international recognition for the rarity of Rafflesia through IUCN and various other red lists, which we're well placed to take forward amongst us. The other is the importance of local people. Podwakis, is that correct? The name for the local communities? Like such as KPPL, for example. We talked about how people in communities affiliated with forests where Rafflesia grow are so instrumental. And I suppose that takes me on to the third one around engage people, because we will only ever protect what we care for. And so how can we share our passion for Rafflesia and make sure that we build an awareness for this important flower so that people enjoy it for many generations to come. And it's been my great pleasure to work with Vancouver, but also with my colleagues in the Philippines, where I've also been made to feel very welcome and it's also feeling like a second home. And we've actually taken some knowledge from Indonesia. So we went to Bogor Botanic Garden where we learned propagation techniques and took that to the Philippines. And I think that gets to the heart of what we're trying to do here, is to, rather than work in silos, coming together to bring our expertise and combine it. And then we talked about some of the outputs. I don't know if you have some more.
Yeah, of course, the reason why we want to understand the biology of the Rafflesia is for us to conserve the species. Because right now, as Chris said, only more than 60% of the Rafflesia are critically endangered. Because by their nature, it's hard to propagate, and many of them are island endemics, grow only in one locality. That's why. But the problem is, the reason why it doesn't have gain a lot of attention is that first, in the IUCN, there's only one species of Rafflesia that was assessed. And unfortunately, it's a synonym, Rafflesia magnifica. So without putting that first in the IUCN red list, probably, or putting the assessment of our Rafflesia species in the IUCN red list will allow us probably to source funds for conservation, because it will have global recognition as a species. IUCN has funding with conservation grants for critically endangered species. So those are some of the, I think, the more urgent research collaboration that we should go for the conservation. And one good thing for the for Vancouver is that you already have a good network of conservationists, young generations. The KPPL is all over the Vancouver, so we can capitalize on that for source of funding. And as we talk with Bo Igos, we also learned that there's not much fund coming from the government for the protection of actually any species of plants. It's always biased with animals. There's a lot of, even in the Philippines, there's a lot of conservation foundation for animals, but not a single conservation organization or foundation for plants. So it's a very good opportunity to have Rafflesia as, probably we can equate Rafflesia to giant panda. So it will the icon for plant conservation. Yeah. So, but first it's important for us to understand how it grows, how they are distributed. So that's why the taxonomy, morphology, and phylogenetic analysis, including the microbiology studies of Laetitia are very important.
Okay, this is is a good brief discussion from Chris and Pat. I would like to explore, is there any this type of opportunity, and also when people, is there any like insect people or micro or other chemistry that can be involved to the project?
I mean, we don't know very much about the pollinators of Rafflesia, so we know that they smell bad and they attract flies, and we know a little, but we don't know much about the species. Interestingly, when we saw Rafflesia this week, my observation was that there were many different insects in there, lots of different sizes, many of them. So it would be wonderful. It wouldn't be that difficult, really, to collect those and for an entomologist to identify them, so we know how many species is it attracting. That would be really invaluable information. We tried, didn't we, Kalinga in the Philippines to collect pollinators, but there were fewer of them, and we were very tired because the field conditions were difficult, so we didn't really manage to collect. Yes.
So basically, there are some other subject outside the water.
The meeting with the network right now is that it's really unexplorable. It's open for all. It's one. Our goal is for conservation. The more people involved in the project, the better for the conservation.
And another thing we talked about was actually setting up this community that's formed incrementally in a way that is not necessarily more formalized, but more consolidated. So, for example, a website in which we brand the partnership, we include members, we invite new people in. We would like for it to be very inclusive and to involve as many people as want to be involved, and for it to be a sort of touchstone where people know that if they want to know more about Rafflesia research or taxonomy, this is the place they go. And then that network becomes much more visible. That in turn would create more visibility for all of our institutions and strengthen our collaborative network and our relationships.
Once we become visible to the to the world, then I think there's more opportunity for us for consulting.
Is there any question? What anything?
Thank you. Yeah, we just stopped finish our discussion this morning until this afternoon with Pak Pet and Pak Chris. I call it them Pak. Yeah. So yeah, the problem of a bit for working Rafflesia research and also conservation, the most important is funding, right? Yeah. So yeah, like I told them, from the government is not like provide the significant funding, also the specific funding to conserve Rafflesia, just come to the local community for the patient, something like that from Professor Agus. Not many of us also from university also concerned to Rafflesia working for the project. So, but I mean, however, in the another side, these are like endangered species because like they I mean the flowers they grow in we don't know this in the next 2 years they still have a real land place for them to grow because already like they're changed to the maybe plant some crops or something the oil palm plantation, so we don't know about that. So this in our discussion this afternoon, I also like the why don't we like the we start from UNIP, from Bengkulu and from Oxford University, from UPLB, like that maybe we start also from here, like from research center, Professor, I don't know, like we have also like the from university they provide also like the great funding for all of us researcher here to do the research from many topics. But I mean, why don't we like maybe from the research center, from the university authority, like the maybe provide a 1 year, like for example next year, just a specific topic about rafflesia. So everyone like this, I mean, submit their proposal, then they choose the topic about rafflesia. Maybe from the social perspective, from biological perspective, from forestry, from everything about rafflesia. I think it's also related to our umbrella, right? Working with the tropical forest, right? So I think this is the one thing we can do from research center here. So everyone, yeah, we can also encourage their concern, their awareness about, yeah, we have rafflesia, like Professor Pat also and Dr. Charbut also say, yeah, we are so lucky in Bengkulu because we have the giant flowers. In Philippines, they have just small I mean, size for the rafflesia, and also Malaysia, Brunei, Thailand. So in Bengkulu, we have the 42, right? So a lot of the, I mean, species of rafflesia, and then the giant one, and yeah, we should like the concept, and yeah, I mean, aware about that. And then perhaps we can also like maybe, yeah, everything about funding as well. We can also like ask the research center, not only for the funding for research, I mean, project. Also, we can also like organize for international conference about rafflesia. So yeah, we start from here. We organize international conference. So we invite everyone around the world to join for the conference. We can make a hybrid, not only come to here, maybe it's too expensive, visit Bengkulu. We just also use the Zoom platform, but the topic for the conference, everything about rafflesia. So that's why I think not only we creating for the website, like we discussed today, for organizing everything about rafflesia concern, we also like make the social media, like I told, no viral, something happened here. So I think, yeah, we can start from academic what's it called, field, yeah, for the aspect, yeah, from here, from the university, like provide the significant funding for the project, and then also for the, organizing the international conference. I think it's in the first time in the world, Pak Agus, there's no any international conference specific for rafflesia, right? So why don't we like organize that?
I guess.
Thank you.
Yeah. I guess we have the first international conference on rafflesia back to 2015.
Oh, we have that.
Held in Bengkulu.
Oh, nice. So it will be the second international conference.
Maybe it's better.
2025 is a good year.
Yeah,
10 years after.
Yeah.
25, 20. Oh,
Yeah.
That's
And then we have another
After
slide.
10 years, yes, yeah.
But,
What
yeah,
yeah, nice.
but we have to agree for one thing that rafflesia we consider as a flag species that will pull other science, for example, insect,
Yeah.
microbes,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
genetic,
Sure.
because rafflesia is well known
Yes.
all over the world,
Yes.
and then we can pull the other
Yes.
other
Yeah.
science that
Yes.
may
Yeah.
support.
Exactly.
things
That's
like
why I
that.
got it from chemistry, from social
Yeah, from-
science, something like that, for the
Yeah.
local, how the people work concept the rafflesia. I think this is good.
Yeah.
Maybe from the law, also from the law faculty
To the policy.
Yes,
Yeah.
policy. Yeah.
Yeah, funding is the one important thing, but you can explore
Yeah.
inside the unit or after the other
Yeah.
other
We can
sources.
find another sponsorship, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
from them.